this is Crypto CJ, and today I'm going to be talking about what to look for, what to avoid in any kind of crypto business opportunity. This could be your yield farming, investment programs, bots, things like that. So I have a confession to make. Most of my income derives from crypto business opportunities. And that's the interest income that they generate or the profits that they generate from trading, depending on what the program is. Probably for the last year or so, this has been my primary source of income. I'm also a trader. I do that nearly every day, primarily day trading, a little bit of swing trading and some hodling as well. But that's only a percentage of my income, maybe 10 to 20%, depending on the success of trading and the market and things like that. So important part of what I do, but not really where most of my money comes from. I have, through trial and error and a lot of pain and misery, I've figured out a really good process to invest in crypto business opportunities, get that passive income that we all love, and not get burned. So this is my checklist for what you need to look for when you're evaluating any kind of crypto business opportunity. So I've got a list right here in front of me. Number one, the golden rule of crypto in general: don't invest any funds that you cannot afford to lose. Don't use your rent money, your retirement, whatever you have. Be very careful about what you put into any kind of crypto business opportunity. This is not financial advice, but generally speaking, if you're going to invest in crypto, you shouldn't invest more than 10% of the funds that you are looking to invest from your income. So if you have you have $10,000 that you want to invest, 10% of that would be $1,000, and that would be the category to use for this kind of endeavor. So again, very important. Next rule: don't be the guinea pig. If somebody comes to you with an opportunity, make sure they've had some success first, and enough success to justify you getting in. If it's like, hey, I heard about this yesterday, do you want to get in? I think that's too soon. I want to see that my sponsors had some success first and can show me that success through screenshots or a Zoom video or something like that, showing me his or her progress. So that's very important. Make sure that person's had success with that program. Then next is going to be your research. You're probably going to do a Google search on whatever program this is, and there's almost always going to be some negative information about whatever you're looking at. So when you're reading that negative review, look at the motivation of the person writing the review. If that person says what you're considering is awful, do my thing instead, that's what we call black hat marketing. That's bait and switch. Criticize one thing, switch them over to another. So to me, that kind of review has no credibility. Another one that you'll see is from an actual recruiter. You may do a search for crypto Biz Opp scam, and then a recruiter's video comes up, and then he or she is showing what a good program it is. But obviously that person's trying to recruit you. So I think that has limited credibility as well. The plus side is you usually get a look inside, the back office of whatever that Biz Opp is, and you can look around a little bit. So there is some value in that particular review, but you shouldn't rely on it. I think the most credible review you can look at is from a person who has no vested interest, that they just take it upon themselves to review these, point out the flaws, and let you make your decision. Now, the downside of this is that person usually is not involved in the program because they think it's a scam, so they're not going to spend their money to get in. So, but they usually point out things that are sometimes useful, sometimes obvious. I mean, if they point out that the company's not licensed in the USA, to trade, by the SEC or the government in some capacity, I don't care. That's not something that bothers me in the area of crypto. If I were buying mutual funds, I would care about that kind of thing. But but in crypto, not so much. But if you care whether something you invest in is regulated by the whatever government institution does that kind of thing, then you probably shouldn't invest in it if that's something that concerns you. It doesn't concern me, but if it concerns you, don't invest for that reason. So that covers the review. Okay, what happens when you get in? Okay, the first rule is once you enter one of these business opportunities, get your capital out as soon as possible. So you're playing on house money. Now, house money is a slang term that comes from the casinos into stocks and into crypto. It just means that you get your initial investment out. It's the first thing I do. I was in a Biz Opp recently where and here's my usual pattern. I will put in a small amount first, maybe $500 to $1,000, and test it, make sure the withdrawals go through, make sure everything looks good. And after a few withdrawals, and if I like what I see, I'll go ahead and increase up to the amount I want to generate. So today, if a Biz Opp generates, say, 3% a day, you have to put $10,000 in to generate $300 a day. So that's usually the kind of thing I'm looking to do. Again, not business advice. Obviously, there are risks in this, but that's what I'm usually looking to do. And I get that 10,000 out as soon as I can. One of the most recent ones I'm in, I was able to get it out in 5 to 6 weeks. And now I'm on house money on that Biz Opp. So that's the ideal way to do it. Because that way, if it does crash and burn, whether it was a scam or whether it was, well-meaning people who failed, then you've at least got your money back and maybe some profit. Okay, the next thing is a warning. When you're in a Biz Opp and it's humming along, you've pulled out your principal, you're on house money. The next thing you need to look for is a restriction on withdrawals. I think withdrawals weekly are reasonable. Daily is better. On demand is even better than that. So most of the ones I'm in are on demand or daily. If they go beyond weekly, if they start on daily, then they go to weekly, then they go from weekly to maybe biweekly or monthly, then you need to start exiting, making your exit plan, because a large restriction on withdrawals is usually the first step for a business opportunity to go under. The types of businesses I like to invest in, number one, are bots. What I like about bots are trading bots are you usually pay for the use of the bot, either rent it or buy it, and then it connects to an exchange in which you control. You control the exchange. So the bot has nothing to do with your actual money. So that's one of my favorite things to get into. Next would be an opportunity that has your money for a short period of time. I'm in one now that trades every couple hours. So it isn't. I do turn my money over to them for about 2 hours, and then it gives it back to me with profit. And at that point, I can pull it all out if I want to. So I think that's the second most. And then the third most secure would be something that allows a withdrawal of the principal in a reasonable amount of time, but you can withdraw profits every day. So I'm in one now that I've put $11,000 into it, and I can withdraw daily, and I do that every day. I'm pulling that out, and I've got a little over a third of my principal out of that one so far. So I've got another 3 to 4 weeks to get it all out, and then at that point I'll be on house money on that one. So, but they do have my money for, I think, 30 business days, which is about 42 calendar days. So that one's riskier than the bots, and also riskier than the short-term trading. So generally, these platforms last 6 months to a year if they have some credibility to them. At some point, the numbers start to stack up, and they have to put withdrawal or risks. They have to put limits on withdrawals, and then we already talked about that. So plan accordingly. Have some idea of when the Biz Opp started to market, and that's really the age of it for this purpose. A lot of these things, the creators have used it for a year or two, and then once they've had those results, then they market it. Well, don't rely on the year or two. You can rely on that in your research, but as far as the lifespan of the business opportunity, it's when they start marketing. So, fortunately, I'm involved with a network of people who get in on these things early, and they contact me when they do, and some things I like, some things I don't. So that's helpful. But if it ends up going badly, whether it's a scam or whether it's well-meaning people who fail, you don't want to be in at the end. So if something's already been pumping along for 9 months or close to a year, I probably wouldn't invest in that. It's too late. But if it's something, if my sponsors had a few weeks of success and can show that to me, and it just started marketing for a month or two, yeah, that's something I'm going to look at. So, all right, well, that's about all I have on how to evaluate crypto business opportunities. If you want to join one of mine, tough. I'm not going to tell you. That would, as I said earlier, diminish the value of this video. But in all seriousness, those of you who know me know how to reach me, and we can talk further after that. Otherwise, those of you who are considering business opportunities, I hope these rules, guidelines are helpful. And hopefully, if I don't see you in one of my business opportunities, I'll see you in one of my trading videos. So I do trading Zoom calls twice a week on Mondays and Fridays. Send me a message through this video if you want to be involved in those. So talk to you soon. Bye.